This episode of Rick and Rick is brought to you by Taskin, the first name in ultra-stylish, premium quality travel gear, like the Taskin Air Duo dual-sided compression packing cubes. One side's 100% air breathable to keep clean clothes fresh and wrinkle-free. The other side's odor and water-resistant to keep dirty laundry sealed up tight. Now you can pack up to 40% more in the same space. Save 30% on your next purchase when you use the promo code R&R Take 30. That's R&R Take 30 at TaskinSF.com.
Next up on an all-new episode of Rick and Rick Rule the World, the Ricks share their most anticipated movies of summer 2025. And it all starts right here, right now, on the one show where everybody loves a good popcorn Rick and everybody rules the world.
Welcome to Rick and Rick Rule the World. I'm Rick Matheson, and I am joined, as always, by my good pal, Rick Wooten. What you up to, Wooten? Did I see pictures of you down in Laguna Beach?
Oh, yes. So, I think I told you this before, but my family tries to get together once a year, and quite often they meet down in Laguna Beach. And while that sounds fancy, when they started going there probably 70 years ago, it didn't look anything like it does today. So it's just that, the area grew up around us. But I was able to get off a few days and head down there with the boys and enjoy some fun and sun.
That's awesome. Last time I was down that way, I was surprised by that. I can't remember the name of the freeway, but part of it is like a toll freeway that built through to connect so you can get to Laguna Beach faster. I remember having to go on almost country roads to get there back 20, 30, 90 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
Literally going through like nothing. And now it's housing and buildings and everything on the way out there.
Yeah, it's crazy that the whole area has changed so much, but in a good way. It's really got good.
Yeah, I love that area. Well, this episode is certified awesome today, folks, because we know what we'll watch this summer. With the summer movie season in full swing, we're about to see if the movie industry's survive to 25 mantra over the last 2 years did get them through the pandemic and industry strikes to bounce back strong, or just plain bounce. It is a packed schedule, too. Coming off of Memorial Day, we had the Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and that huge success with Lilo and Stitch. Now we're talking Jurassic World Rebirth, Megan 2.0, Superman 28 years later, and more. So, Rick, you want to count down the 3 summer movies that we're most excited to see? And do you want to go first? You would like me to?
Why don't you go first?
All right. The one caveat here, folks, is I feel like it was last year. I ended up liking your most anticipated movies and being thoroughly disappointed with my most anticipated movies. So fair warning to everybody. Everything I was excited about, I hated. All right. Despite the flaccid name, I am looking forward to the Fantastic Four First Steps. This is like the 3rd time that a studio has attempted, anyway, to launch a Fantastic Four franchise, but it is the first one by Marvel/Disney, and it's got a great cast. In this reboot, Fantastic Four finally joins the MCU, but not exactly the MCU we know and love. And that's part of the thing that intrigues me the most, Rick. So this movie stars Pedro Pascal as, it's Mr. Fantastic, right? Which always cracks me up.
Yeah.
I think I'll call myself Mr. Fantastic. Vanessa Kirby as Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm/Human Torch, right? Is his name?
Yeah, Human Torch.
And then I think it's Eben Moss Backrack as Ben Grimes, a.k.a. The Thing. And it seems to be set in kind of a surreal, retro-futuristic 1950s/60s. The trailer, it looks fun.
Yeah.
And what I'm most interested in seeing is how they meld this with the rest of the MCU, because these characters are indeed in Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to work. Do you think there's going to be like multiversal madness in this movie?
Yeah. That's one of the theories that's been going around, is that basically there's a scene that you've seen in one of the trailers where you can see them moving into another place, another world. And so they think that they basically go from whichever universe they're currently in to the main one.
Interesting.
Which would make sense.
Yeah, it's the only thing that I can think of for them to have any way to connect with everybody else that we know in the MCU. This movie opens July 25th, by the way. That's during San Diego Comic-Con. So it could be cool. I'm hopeful anyway.
Ironically, my number 3 was also the Fantastic Four, so I'm going to pick a different movie instead. And
okay.
Basically, I get a bonus. So I'm going to pick F1. I don't know if you've seen much about this, but this F1 movie. It stars Brad Pitt and Sonny Hayes is a former F1 phenomenon that was brought back out of retirement to help a failing team, right? So it's the old guy comes back and teaches the young team something new kind of movie. It was filmed over 2 years at real Grand Prix events. And there's actually some really cool technology that they built to be able to do this. In fact, they took iPhone 15s and pulled them apart and integrated them into little fins that are on the side of the car that are totally invisible. So that's how they got some of the footage and things like that.
Wow. The
film brings together that emotional underdog storytelling with like some high intense like race sequences. And of course it culminates in a dramatic single take all kind of scenario for the climax. So I'm actually pretty excited about this one. It's got some legit F1 stars like Hamilton and Sainz and etc. Brad Pitt apparently went through a bunch of training to try and get all this completely right. So I think this one could be fun. I really enjoyed Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that this kind of has some of that essence and excitement that came from that.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sure I'll see that one as well. Do you know if it'll be IMAX? Probably. It must be.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks really cool. I've been liking Brad Pitt movies lately, like Bullet Train and an older one that I had just never seen before, but longtime listener Bill got me to watch. If you have never seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino, you got to see it. It's awesome.
So the movie was released on June 27th. It earned $140 million in the opening weekend. So
nice.
It's off to a good start.
My number 2 kept going on and off my list is Zach Cregger's Weapons, which could be the feel-bad movie of the year. It's a horror movie about 17 students who go missing at exactly the same time. It's like 2:17 in the morning, leaving all the folks in. I think it's a Pennsylvania town. He's saying, nope. I noticed it has Marvel players in it, Josh Brolin and Benedict Wong. And what makes me optimistic about this one, Rick, is first, I noticed it's shot for IMAX, which I don't know of a lot of horror movies that are shot for IMAX. The studio must believe in it.
Yeah.
And then GQ said that Jordan Peele loved the script so much that he was beyond pissed that he didn't get to direct it, to the point that he cut ties with his management staff over it.
Oh, wow.
So if that's the case, this looks like a summer movie that's maybe short on beaches, but big on body count. I'm hoping it's terrifying.
Yeah, it looks good. I have to check that one out. My number 2 actually came out straight to streaming, which is The Old Guard 2.
Oh, yeah.
You saw the first one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I love the first one.
Loved it.
I was trying to tell somebody about it today. To me, it's a bit like a reimagination of the Highlander movie series.
Yeah.
About immortals and there can only be one. And, that whole thing. It's not the same. It's not there can only be one, but it has a lot of the same excitement and vibe and storytelling that had.
Yeah.
And so the first movie was fun. And so, of course, they made a second one and there's a rumor about a third. And for the second one, it's coming right back where the first one left off, where it confronts the fallout of, by the way, spoiler alerts, the fallout of the main character played by Charlize Theron, Andy, who is now mortal and is trying to navigate through the world and her alliances and this whole thing. And most people don't know that she's not mortal anymore. So she's trying to play it off. Quinn resurfaces, having escaped from being drowned, in a box in the ocean. And Uma Thurman shows up, which is pretty awesome. She plays a character called Discord, who helps Quinn come after Andy. And there's this huge battle, and everybody who's lost their immortality is trying to find a way to become immortal again. And that's where everything kind of comes together. And I don't want to give anything more away, but it looks to be a really exciting film. And I'm really looking forward to watching it.
Yeah. I probably should watch the original first before watching this one, because you were talking about, I didn't remember the storyline. All I remember was that I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, it's just fun, right? It's not, the most thought-provoking movie ever, but I just had a really good time. And one of the things I saw was an interview with Charlize Theron. She was saying that she had always wanted to do a movie with Uma Thurman, and they never had an opportunity. And so, there's this great scene, and again, I'm not giving away too much, where you can actually see Charlize and Uma Thurman fighting with swords, right? Hearkening back to Kill Bill.
Yeah.
And so there's paying homage to a bunch of different things, and it just looks like a lot of fun.
When we come back from the short break, we'll continue our countdown of the Rick's most anticipated movies of summer 2025, including our number 1 picks for the season. So stay tuned.
This episode of Rick and Rick is brought to you by Taskin, the first name in ultra-stylish, premium quality travel gear, like the Taskin Air Duo dual-sided compression packing cubes. One side's 100% air breathable to keep clean clothes fresh and wrinkle-free. The other side's odor and water resistant to keep dirty laundry sealed up tight. Now you can pack up to 40% more in the same space. Save 30% on your next purchase when you use the promo code R&R Take 30. That's R&R Take 30 at TaskinSF.com.
And we are back. Rick and Rick rule the world with Rick Matheson and Rick Wooten as we reach our number one most anticipated movies of summer 2025. All right, you know what my number one is, and you know how cautiously optimistic I am about it. I am trying hard to keep expectations down for my number one most anticipated movie of summer 2025. I've got my tickets. I can only hope that James Gunn's first official DCU movie, Superman, is serious fun. Now, some have put it, they said, hey, if it's good, who knows, maybe 2025 will be the year superhero movies get their mojo back. I hope that's true. I'll believe it when I see it, but all eyes are on Superman. David Cornsweet, I saw him in a movie or some show years ago, and I thought right off the bat, he'd be a great Superman, except as we've talked about, the way they make him look in the movie, he just looks ridiculous. Clearly dyed black hair and the uniform's dumb, but hopefully they'll pull it off. But anyway, Nicholas Hoult is on as Lex Luthor, and he's usually pretty good. He was from X-Men. He was Cyclops in one of the X-Men movies.
Oh, interesting.
Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern Guy Gardner, and The Last of Us's Dina, Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl, Millie Alcock as Supergirl, and then Bradley Cooper is Jor-El. So I'm terrified from the scenes, to be honest with you. But, if Gunn can make us cry over a CGI talking raccoon, then maybe he can pull this off.
That's awesome.
Here's to truth, justice, and hopefully box office redemption. Please.
I'm hoping so too. I feel like, the Superman movies have fallen kind of flat in recent years. So yep. I'm hoping this is going to be the one that turns it around. Yeah. I did read that Cornsweet actually convinced Gunn to include the classic trunks.
Yes.
Did you read that too?
I did, and whatever.
I like the symbolism. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, just for folks to be prepared, the mindset seems to be whatever Zack Snyder did, this is the opposite. So if you love Zack Snyder, you might not like this one, and vice versa. I didn't hate Zack Snyder stuff, but I did think the tone was totally off for Superman.
Yeah. But I think this is important that I think with Batman, it's a better example with Batman. Depending on who's telling the story, you get a different side of Batman. And so, you can have the Dark Knight, or you can have, something that's a little more upbeat. You can have the really, crazy stuff. There's different ways it could be told, and the character still works. Yeah. It's a little bit harder to do that with Superman. And I think that was probably part of the challenge.
Yeah. I'm hoping it'll be a winner.
So the number one movie actually, I think, came out as well, and I just haven't had an opportunity to see it, and that's Ballerina. It's from the world of John Wick.
Gotcha.
I'm a big fan of the John Wick movies, and this one's kind of interesting. It follows a character played by Ana de Armas.
Yep.
Yeah, is that right?
Armas.
Ana de Armas, who's basically a young intake into the Ruska Roma assassination world. And if you remember that played a role in one of the movies when he went and visited them. So, it's just your typical story. She witnessed her father being murdered, and then she got sucked into this world, and was trained to become an assassin, a lethal weapon, and she does it as part of being a ballerina. And so it's just kind of a fun take. You actually do get to see John Wick in the movie. He comes in and plays a little bit in here, and it's supposed to take place between chapter 3 and chapter 4. So it's part of canon. It should be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And it should be just a lot of fun. The fight scenes are supposed to be over the top as one would expect. And it's really well written. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what other spinoffs they can make from the John Wick stories.
Ballerina looks good. And I want to say, Rick, it might actually even be on demand.
Ballerina?
Yeah. You can buy it right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just looked it up, and it released on July 1st, and you can rent or buy it from Amazon or Apple. And the crazy thing is, the purchase price is $25. But if I was to go to the movie theater, I'm paying $20 anyways. And so, for $5 more, I own it. It's always interesting when stuff like this comes out.
That's the thing. It's like all of a sudden, we went through such a dry spell of movies and TV because of the strikes. And then, of course, the pandemic before that. And so now lots of stuff coming out all at once.
Yeah. And this is a movie I think that would probably be best to see in a theater. I'll give them that. So it may be one that I see in the theater and then worry about it later on.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I've had movies where I didn't go see it in the theater, watched it on, on demand or whatever, and kicked myself for not going to see it in the theater. Or if it's still in the theater, I'll go. Like, had no plans to see it, but then I see it on demand. I'm like, oh, I got to see this on the big screen, and it's still playing, so I'll go see it.
Yeah. So, the one movie that I did want to include in the list, and I just couldn't quite make it into the top three, was 28 Years Later. I'm a big fan of zombie movies, and, this one is all of that. It's one of the OGs, and it's supposed to be like an excellent follow up. And if you're not familiar, what it was is the first movie was, what was it? 28 days later.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 28 months later, and then 28 years later. And so it's the third in the trilogy. And it's anyways, I don't want to spoil anything. So just go watch the trailer and then go watch the movie.
This is going to have to wrap it up here, folks. Thank you for listening. And remember, you can listen to new and archived episodes at rickandrick.com. And be sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. While you're there, smash that 5-star button. It makes us feel good and helps others discover the show. And we'd also love to hear from you. Our email address is rick@rickandrick.com. Until next time, keep on kicking ass and keep on coming back to the one show where everybody's name is Rick.
And everybody rules the world.